I'm author Sandra Wilson here in the Kindness Kangaroo Library for another Kangaroo Tale. Kindness Kangaroo, what story are we sharing today? Today we're going to read the story Blueberry Jam, written by Eva Hornyak. And as always, in the description below, you will find a link where you can find a copy of Blueberry Jam for yourself. And make sure to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our storytime sessions. Okay, here we go, everybody. Blueberry Jam. "What's for breakfast, Mom?" Izzy asked, running into the kitchen. "I'm making toast with jam," Mom replied. Izzy's favorite jam was blueberry, but the jar was empty. She inquired, "Can we open a new jar of jam from the cellar?" "Of course," answered Mom. It was store-bought blueberry jam with a colorful label and a picture of a cluster of blueberries on it. The buttered toast was ready. Izzy spread the jam on her toast and took a big bite. With a mouthful of toast and jam, she strongly stated, "You know, Mom, this jam is not as good as Grandma's." "You're right, sweetie. There's nothing like a jar of homemade jam," Mom said. When Izzy's mom, Evie, was 5 years old, she would pick batches of blueberries at her cottage in the Laurentian Mountains of Quebec for her Oma. Evie and her two brothers, Stephen and Peter, couldn't figure out why she wanted them to pick so many. There were enough blueberries to fill the big white pedestal bathtub in the bathroom. One morning, Evie was awakened by the loud clatter of pots and pans, the clinking of glasses, and her Oma humming old Hungarian tunes in the kitchen. As she sauntered barefooted in her purple pajamas, half asleep towards the small kitchen, Evie saw her Oma scurrying back and forth, holding a blue-stained wooden spoon. There were blueberries in big pots on the tiny, scratched-up wooden table. There were blueberries in a massive stainless steel strainer soaking in the porcelain sink. On the stove, she saw a monstrous iron frying pan with a broken black handle filled with plump and juicy blueberries that were bubbling and frothing like a witch's brew. "What are you doing with all those blueberries?" Evie asked Oma. "Blueberry jam," she responded, darting back and forth. She's very busy. The kitchen was so small only Oma could fit in it, but Evie was curious to find out how to make jam. She stood and watched from around the doorway. Oma placed all the empty jars into a cauldron of boiling water. "Why are you boiling those empty jars?" Evie asked. "So they don't have any germs in them when I fill them with jam," said Oma. "What is that clear steaming stuff in the other pot?" asked Evie. "It's pure refined and clear melted wax," said Oma. "What's the melted wax for?" Evie asked. "To seal the jars so no air can get in. That way the jam won't spoil. It will last a lot longer," said Oma, looking like an expert. Evie thought to herself, Oma has this blueberry jam making down to an art. Oma lined up all the jars on the counter. She filled them one by one with hot jam using her ladle. Then she carefully poured the melted wax on top, making sure she wouldn't burn herself. By midday, Oma was nearing the end of the assembly line. She was running out of blueberries. She filled the last jar. "Oh, Oma," Evie said with delight, "there is some jam left over in that soup bowl on the counter behind you. Can I taste some?" Evie asked. "As soon as it cools down, sweetie," Oma said, smiling and nodding her head up and down. "I was saving it just for you." Evie waited patiently. The tickled her nose. Finally, the big taste test, a teaspoonful of blueberry jam, slid past her taste buds and down her throat. "You know what, Oma? Nobody but nobody makes blueberry jam like you do," Evie said in total delight. It tasted warm, sweet, tangy, and yummy. Many years later, while Evie was visiting her mother at the old cottage, Izzy came running in with some berries in her hands. "Grandma, are these blueberries?" she asked. "Yes, they are," Grandma said, smiling at Izzy. "Could I have a container so I can pick more?" Izzy asked. Grandma gave her a small empty bucket, and Izzy scampered off. About an hour later, she returned with the bucket filled with plump, round blueberries. She handed the container over to Grandma. "Do you think we could make blueberry jam?" Izzy asked eagerly. "I think we have just enough for 1 jar," Grandma answered. Evie stood back, watching her mother make jam, with her daughter observing the whole process from around the doorway. The long-awaited moment arrived, the taste test. When the jar cooled down, Izzy placed a teaspoonful of blueberry jam into her mouth. While licking her upper lip with her blue tongue, Izzy turned to her mother and said, "You know, Mummy, nobody makes blueberry jam like Grandma." Wouldn't it be great if you and your grandma and your mom could have a special day together in the kitchen creating your own blueberry recipe? Look, below is a recipe for blueberry pie that you can try and have fun. So not only does the book recall sort of a memory of making blueberry jam, but it gives you something to do to help make your own memory as well. And that's why books like this are so important. It kind of seals memories for us. So even if we didn't experience making blueberry jam with our grandma or our Oma, maybe there was something else we made. Maybe we made pies or muffins or donuts. So recalling this memory of making blueberry jam can help us recall memories that we've had baking something with our loved ones. And so that's kind of exciting that books can do that for us. But it also gives us some information about how jam is made. So that's another thing that we can do. We can learn from books. So we can capture memories. We can trigger memories. So it helps us remember things that we did. And we can learn a little bit along the way. Books are so important and they're so great that we are really enjoying to share the love of reading and the love of books. So in the description below, you can click on the link and get your own copy of Blueberry Jam. And you can also click on the link and find the Kindness Kangaroo Library Literacy Project. And with that, we are sharing the love of reading by sharing book reviews. And so we'd like to collect book reviews from you kids that tell us what your favorite books are. So draw us a picture and tell us why that book is your favorite and send it in with the instructions that are on the website with the Literacy Project. And then we'll take all that love of reading that you've shared and share it with others. And that way, we're sharing the joy of reading all around the world. So I hope you enjoyed today's kangaroo tale, and I hope you join us next time in the Kindness Kangaroo Library for more story time.